Welcome. Today, we're diving into the secret language of music chords. Yeah, that code that makes all your favorite songs work, we're gonna crack it right here, right now.
So, have you ever looked at a piece of music and just seen this mess of symbols? C major 7, G minor 7, flat 5. It looks like a secret code, right? If you've ever felt like you need a decoder ring just to figure it out, trust me, you are not alone. It looks super intimidating.
But what if I told you that this entire language, all these crazy-looking symbols, can be completely unlocked with just two simple ideas? Seriously, it's way simpler than it looks. All right, let's get into it. Okay, so our first system for understanding chords, I want you to think of it like building with Lego blocks. It's totally a spatial thing, right? It's all about stacking pieces on top of each other to build something cool.
And our Lego blocks, well, in music, we call them intervals. It's just a fancy word for the distance between two notes. And here's the best part. For like 99% of the chords you'll ever see, you only need two main types of blocks, the major third and the minor third. That's it.
So think of the major third as the slightly bigger block. It's a distance of 4 little half steps on a guitar or piano, and it sounds, bright, happy, major. The minor third is the smaller block, just 3 half steps, and it has that darker, kind of sad or serious sound. It's amazing how that one tiny difference in size completely changes the entire mood of the chord.
And this is where it gets really cool. Check this out. We can build the 4 most fundamental chords, we call them triads, just by changing the order of our 2 blocks. Put the big block on the bottom and the small one on top, boom, you've got a major chord. Flip them around, small on the bottom, big on top, and now it's a minor chord. And what if you use 2 big blocks? You get this tense, weird-sounding augmented chord. 2 small ones, that's a diminished chord, also super tense. It's incredible, right? 4 totally different sounds, and all we used were our 2 little Lego blocks.
All right, let's switch gears to our second system. If the first one was about building blocks, this one is much more like following a recipe from a cookbook.
So every good cookbook needs a pantry with all the basic ingredients, right? In music, our pantry is the major scale. It's just a specific pattern of 7 notes. These are our core ingredients. And to make things easy, we just number them 1 through 7.
So, using these numbered ingredients, the recipe for a major chord is always the same, no matter what key you're in. It's super simple. Just take the first, the third, and the 5th ingredient from your scale. So if we're using the C major scale as our pantry, that's C, E, and G. It's a foolproof recipe every single time.
And here's the real power of thinking this way. Want to change that happy major chord into a sad minor one? You just tweak one ingredient. You flatten the 3rd note. That just means you lower it by 1 little step. So the recipe goes from 1, 3, 5 to 1, flat 3, 5. That's it. One tiny change in the recipe, and you get a completely different flavor.
Okay, so we've got our 2 systems, the building block way and the recipe way. You might be wondering, are they in conflict? Do they work together? Well, the answer is yes, they work together perfectly. They're just 2 different ways of looking at the exact same thing. Let me prove it to you. Let's build a bigger, fancier 4-note chord. All right, using System 1, our stacking method, we start with that C major triad we already built. That's C, E, and G. Now, all we do is stack 1 more block on top. In this case, we're going to add another major third, a big block, right on top of that G. And what note is that? It's B. Simple as that. Okay, now let's try it with System 2, the recipe method. The recipe for a major 7th chord is just as easy, 1, 3, 5, 7. We're just adding the 7th ingredient from our C major scale pantry. And, you guessed it, that note is B. So we end up with the exact same notes, C, E, G, and B. See? 2 totally different ways of thinking, but they lead to the exact same place.
Now this is maybe the most important takeaway for these bigger, more colorful chords. It really all boils down to 2 specific notes, the 3rd and the 7th. The 3rd is what tells your ear whether the chord is fundamentally happy or sad, major or minor. And the 7th, that's what adds that next layer of flavor, that extra color. Those 2 notes together basically define the entire personality of the chord.
So, okay, we've looked at the systems, we've cracked the code, but so what? What does this all mean for you when you're actually listening to or trying to make music? Why does any of this stuff really matter? Well, what you have now are 2 incredibly powerful tools in your toolkit. The stacking system lets you actually visualize the shape of a chord and feel its emotional quality. And the formula system, that gives you a logical step-by-step recipe to build any chord you can imagine in any key with total precision.
They're just two different dialects of the same beautiful language of music. And please, don't think of this as just memorizing a bunch of boring rules. That's not the point at all. This is about unlocking freedom. The freedom to create your own music, to communicate your ideas, to improvise, and to finally understand what's really going on under the hood of the songs you love. It's about connecting with music on a much, much deeper level.
So there you have it. We've handed you the key to the code. The only question left now is, what kind of music are you gonna write?